Room. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Oh, move. Should I did. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's the last 3 years, I'm so busy we can recover. Patty, would you call the roll, please?
I will. David Douglas.
I am here.
Ronald Bissone.
Oh, wrong board there.
Right, church. Sorry. Matt Nixon. Bruce Lyons. Here. Thank you. And Roland Tufts.
Here.
And Marie Brilliant. Here.
Hey, Ruth, without the camera, when you want to speak, just make sure we know and we can hear you.
Okay, will do.
Can you raise your hand or something, clear your throat?
Yep.
Town managers report.
Good evening. I'm Mark Waltz, Assistant Town Manager, filling in for Town Manager Skrapchansky. The closure of Elm Street for the culvert construction is going to be delayed till the week of June 13th, rather than originally scheduled as June 6th, due to an issue with some of the materials arriving in time. Our Bowdoin College interns are going to start June 7th. The planning office has one, and the town manager's office has two. Last year, the select board installed a traffic island down on Elm Street extension, and the plan was to have a planter in there, and we're able to pull that off this year. That's all been painted. And Jean Herlihy of the Topsham Garden Club planted it for us, and Peggy Schick, who lives nearby, is going to keep it watered for us. So some nice flowers in there. Go by and check it out. Election day is June 14th. The last day to request an absentee ballot is next Thursday, June 9th. We're going to be open till 7 o'clock next Thursday to allow for any registrations people want to do that evening. This coming Saturday, June 4th, is the famous fishing rally that'll be at the ponds at the transfer station from 8 to 11. And finally, as you set your calendar for August, on August 2nd, the Topsham Fire, Police, and Parks and Rec are sponsoring their first national night out via the Forsyth Fields. Rumor has it there may be a dunk tank for anyone that's interested in participating. And if the board so wishes, you could always nominate the town manager to participate in the dunk tank. What was that for today?
Or chair of
I will proudly say, when St. John's Bazaar, I was one of the top recipients due to my comments. So if we're looking to fundraise, perhaps I can break out some stuff. Any questions of the assistant town manager? Nothing. We're moving. Public comment? Nothing. Correspondence? I got one, and I know Roland, I think you got it, and maybe everyone did, but I'll read it. Liz Armstrong, 41 Elm Street. David, I don't know if you've seen Brunswick's Pride sidewalk across Main Street. It's fantastic. Brunswick will be celebrating Pride Week in June, as are a lot of communities around the country. I would suggest that Topsham, at the bare minimum, consider putting a Pride sidewalk in on our Main Street. I left a voicemail for Derek. I'd appreciate it if you could look into this and maybe nudge the concept along this. Before I even got home to read this, there was already a series of emails back and forth, and the administration, it's been that we follow, what was the term?
Uniform manual of traffic control devices.
Yes. So that was the answer for that correspondence. Anyone have any other? Adjustments to the agenda. Consent calendar, approval of the minutes, regular select board meeting on May 19, 2022. So moved and seconded by anyone?
Second.
Second. Patty, would you take that vote?
Okay, I will. In favor or opposed to the minutes, Mr. Tufts?
Fair.
In favor? In favor.
In favor.
Yeah. Ruth? Ruth Lyons, are you in favor of approving the minutes as written?
Yes, Ruth?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, that's unanimous.
Oh, you're
Yeah, oh, I didn't ask you, I am so
First run of
sorry.
this and now you
You
missed
wouldn't
it.
dare.
I'm in favor.
You're in favor, thank you.
Unfinished old business, new bid. Look at us move. 2238, consideration and any appropriate action on the acceptance of the Community Resilience Partnership Community Action Grant. You come on up.
Yes. Right, hi, everybody. So back in March, you authorized us to submit a grant to Maine Governor's Office of Policy Innovation and the Future for $46,000 to convert the town-owned streetlights in the municipal complex to LED. We were awarded the full grant, so I am now asking you to approve the acceptance and authorize the town manager to sign the grant acceptance letter.
Any questions? Nothing. How quick is it? You would probably put it for you to sign it. Is that
Sure.
It's going to be a little bit, isn't it?
Another week.
Yeah, so to get it. So I will make a motion that the assistant town manager or the town manager, depending on timing, sign the grant acceptance letter and the board accept the grant.
Second.
Motion and seconded.
Okay, let's vote for this. Roland, in favor or opposed? Marie?
In favor.
In favor. David?
I am in favor of that.
Ruth Lyons, in favor or opposed?
In favor?
Thank you. Matt?
In favor.
Thank you, that's unanimous.
Thank you. 2239, consideration any appropriate action on the presentation and acceptance of the Charter Commission report. We have a letter from the members that agreed to the Charter Commission report, and I believe we've been told Peter LaPerry will speak to this. And look, he's at the microphone now.
Yes. Boy, and everything I had just disappeared. I thought that I would start just by reading the letter that we submitted. That way, anybody that's out there that's listening can hear what we did, and then I'll just entertain any questions. It's to the Topsham Board of Selectmen. The Topsham Charter Commission held 2 public hearings and multiple commission meetings in pursuit of an answer to the question, does Topsham need its own charter? On Wednesday, March 30th, the Charter Commission voted to take no further action on writing a charter. Our finding from the public hearings indicated that there is strong support to keep the current town meeting form of government. Our findings from legal opinions obtained indicate that many of the issues citizens raised in the public hearings could be fixed by changing chapter 6 or 7 ordinances or by changing town hall and select board policy rather than adopting a charter. In your packet was a list that was written by Marilyn that showed what the questions were and whether or not they needed a charter. And of the 4, or of all the issues that we submitted to the town attorney, there was only 4 that absolutely had to require a charter. And the commission voted to not proceed under those issues. It was noted by the Charter Commission that most members of the select board were opposed to changing the current form of government. There is always room for improvement, and the commission passed the torch to you to address and remedy the issues facing the town in regards to shortfalls in our systems and government. We, the Charter Commission, recommend the following steps to be taken. Review Code of Ordinance Chapter 6 and 7 and consider ethics policies. The Select Board should conduct a review of the Chapter 6 and 7 Code of Ordinances. The ethics policy for the Select Board should be reviewed, and the policy should be strengthened to apply to town boards and committees. Ideas for improving the ethics policy can be found in the attached documents. The legal opinion from the attorney and legal opinion matrix. Minutes from both public hearings. Increase town meeting attendance through advertising and promotion. The select board should reactivate the town meeting committee and actively recruit members for the purpose of promoting town meeting and increasing attendance. The select board should research installing a digital sign similar to Lisbon's to increase public awareness of town meetings and other events. Live broadcasting town meetings should be considered as a way to increase awareness of the event and increase attendance. Topsham should continue to keep aware of state of Maine law regarding remote participation at town meeting. We trust you to review public comments taken at our recent hearings to see what can be done to improve our government. Best regards, Charter Commission. Any questions?
I do, but it's something we have to tackle. Obviously, you wrote it. Though I will, the one comment I would make is the commission said that we should look to, where are the exact words? Reactivate the town meeting committee. I understand what the intent there is. I can say I came on a little over 10 years ago and that committee was empty. Everyone had left. Nobody has put in an application to this committee. And I understand there's never been an application come across our desks. It's going to take more than this board to go out looking for individuals that you can't force participation, right? And you probably agree with that. We can try to do things, and I think there's been a lot done. Staff is trying to do some stuff. But that one, I have no problems put in here, but it's certainly it's a tough one to find a way to get people. We haven't even seen people join this committee in the past, is what I'm saying.
I understand.
So
There was a lot of discussion on the committee about attendance at town meeting and talk about trying to improve attendance, get people there. Personally, says the Windows Committee, we have been in the 90s, we struggled with the same issue. How do we get more people at town meeting? And I once jokingly suggested that we zero fund the recreation department and put it last on the warrant. And that would increase town meeting. Of course, we never did that. But we had a lot of discussion about that on the Charter Commission. One of the ideas we had was, well, actually a couple, was the sign.
I love the sign.
And it was suggested that maybe if you reactivated the committee, maybe they could come up with something, although when they were previously
Before they all left.
before they all died off. They tried a lot of things. They tried, food, they tried having babysitting. We've tried a lot of stuff, as you probably know.
Ruth, your hands up. Oh,
First of all, I think the charter committee, to see if we were going to do a charter, did a great job. And I think they took it very, very seriously, and I thank them. The second part, there's always so much discussion about attendance at town meeting. Town meeting is advertised a year ahead of time. Not everybody sees it. I think maybe there's other ways we can do things in announcements and things. I don't know what they are yet. I will think on it and make suggestions. However, if people are concerned at their government, people come. We've had 1,000 people at town meetings before. We've had 800 and some people. We've had 360 before. People come when there's great concerns. And maybe we do need to be a better job communicating. I don't know how that would happen at this point, but again, I will be glad to give it some thought and pass it by our board. But there's so much emphasis on that. And I think it is important that people participate in their government. And town meeting is the purest form of democracy. It's not controlled by a group of people that can make all your decisions. And I think that's what the people have spoken about. So thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns?
I think Ruth is right. My experience is that if there's a hot topic, the attendance goes up a great deal. Otherwise, I think if people are happy with where things are, they don't. That's just my assumption. Yes.
Peter, could you clarify the comment about ethics pertaining to boards and committees too? Do you remember any of the history of that conversation?
There was concern about the fact that there was ethics for the board of selectmen, but there really was nothing written for boards and committees. And the thought behind this is that it should there should be a standard policy when somebody should recuse themselves. Maybe attendance, various things. And we had a lot of discussion about that. And overall, the board decided to suggest that maybe that written policy, because now from what my understanding is, there is no written policy. It's up to the individual board or committee. And that towns should probably consider having a written policy that applies not only to the selectmen, but to the other boards and committees. And I believe we have a policy that covers the employees.
That's fine.
Should always, thinking about it, the boards and committees should always reflect whatever that particular select board has for their own, right? We appoint them, we look at them, it's us that have been elected. We're the only elected individuals within the community, and the boards and committees should always reflect what their standard is, not opinions, but should always reflect that current select board, I would think. So I think it's a good idea.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, just thinking, make sure everyone's good before we. So I will make a motion to accept the report from the Topsham Charter Commission dated May 18, 2022. And once we accept this, 30 days, I believe your memo said, Assistant Town Manager, that 30 days after the committee goes
Dissolved.
null and void. Yeah, dissolves.
Sorry.
So motion and seconded.
Roland,
Favor?
in favor, Marie, in favor, David,
I'm in favor.
Ruth Lyons, in favor. Or
In
opposed?
favor.
You, Matt,
In favor.
unanimously in favor.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for, just so everyone, there was a 9-person, right, on your
Yes,
committee
those 9 people.
commission. So 6 of those were elected, 3 of those volunteered, and those that volunteered, it was at the last minute, individuals chose to come on. And even more so at the last minute, those that were elected, nobody ever took out papers for this commission. Everybody was a write-in. And the 3 that were interviewed were kind of right up against the wall also with timing. So we thank you for stepping forward and the rest of your members.
I might point out, it was in, I believe it's in the paperwork, on the report that I read, 6 of us voted in favor. There was 1 no, 1 abstention, and 1 absent.
So thank you.
Thank
You
you.
did. 2240, consideration and appropriate action on the policy for expending open space in lieu fees. If you recall, last week, we had our second discussion about this. And I think, Victor, there you are. You're gonna come in and give us a little talk from where you worked.
Yes, I really guess I'm here to answer questions, unless you needed to know more about the development of the policy.
So I assume staff developed the policy in conjunction
No, actually, they developed the policy, but we
Yeah.
reviewed it and we're okay with it.
with, okay.
Yeah, Rod did help us a little bit, just to clarify. I mean, he gave us some, what we can do, what made sense, et cetera. But yeah, no, it wasn't like a, anyway, so yeah, it was mostly the Conservation Commission, and based on, based on what the ordinance says about how that money is being collected or what the purpose of it is. So that's mostly where it came from.
Anyone have any comments? I think that they did well. I'm ready. Ruth, is your hand? Ruth, take your hand down if you don't want anything.
Oh. I thought I had it down.
There you do. So. There you go. Make a motion that we adopt the presented policy for expending open space in lieu fees as written.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Patty, you're on.
Okay, Roland, how do you vote?
In favor.
Marie?
In favor.
David?
I am in favor.
Ruth?
In favor.
Ann?
Approve.
Unanimously approved. Thank you.
2241, consideration and appropriate action on approving spending up to $20,000 from the open land account to the Topsham Brunswick Land Trust. That's how I like to read it. So, time to start coming around. This is another kind of go in line with our last item that we took up. The Topsham Brunswick Land Trust is looking at purchasing a piece of land here in Topsham along an area that we've been very interested in. The commission has been interested in. Victor, you're just looking, just answer questions if needed. Does everyone feel they're up to date on it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I believe Angela will be there too, so she'll have more information about the actual purchase. So.
You want to talk?
I'm happy to answer questions.
Representative from the Topsham Brunswick Land Trust says she'll answer questions. So I'll make a motion that we approve spending up to $20,000 from the open land account to the Topsham Brunswick Land Trust.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor? Oh, no, sorry.
Roland in favor, opposed. Marie?
In favor.
I'm in favor.
In favor, Marie? Ruth Lyons?
In favor.
Favor? Matt Nixon?
In favor.
Unanimously in favor.
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
You know, I never felt that the whole time I was pre-reading. It was more than I read it out loud. Consideration and 2242, consideration any appropriate action on approval of the acceptance of FEMA reimbursement. Chief, come on down.
Good evening, Chris McGlone, Fire Chief. This is for COVID-19 related EMS supplies and PPE. So it's anything that we use to treat a COVID patient or a suspected COVID patient. I submitted all my invoices from the period of July 1st, 2021 to December 31st to FEMA. The reimbursement went through the process with them, and they obligated $6,244.28 to the state of Maine, which is now with our signature to release the funds.
Any questions?
How many federal bureaucrats that went through, how much time was spent proving
$6,244. Everyone gave a buck. See, that's my official answer. I make a motion that we approve the acceptance of FEMA reimbursement for COVID-19.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Patty, you're up.
Roland?
In favor.
Marie?
In favor.
David?
I am in favor.
Matt?
In favor.
Ruth Lyons?
Favor.
Unanimously in favor.
Thank you, Patty.
The only thing I'll add is they also announced they'll do 100% again until June 30th this year. So I'll probably go back to January, start the whole process over again for the last 6 months. Throw that out there.
2243, consideration any appropriate action to apply for an emergency management performance critical infrastructure grant to obtain a generator for town hall. Chief.
Once again, this is a project that Derek and I have been working on. They came up with a generator grant probably 4 or 5 months ago. That process had to go through to Sac County. Sac County would take those, prioritize which places needed them the most. I know Derek reached out to 2 companies, never got a response back. I reached out to one. One company did show up, but we never got a bid back for that, or a quote, proposal, I should say. So that grant kind of went away. And then they announced about a month and a half ago that they were opening that process back up because they must have some more monies. And this process is a first come, first serve. It's not prioritized by the county, it's done by the state. So it's a 50% match. So the town would be required to pay 50%. I think you read my memo regarding the reasons. The biggest one is there is no heat if we lose power here. And the current procedure is somebody has to come and drain all the pipes. If we were to have an extended power outage during the winter time, that could be problematic if you don't know what you're doing. And then also it does help support our emergency operations center if we did have a large scale event and we had to open up an EOC. That was part of the grant as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the generator itself.
Only because I didn't do a drive around. Is there one for the public safety building?
There is.
Okay,
It's not tied into here though.
okay.
Much bigger one.
Is it?
Yes.
Any questions?
Makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should switch them. Small, only
Make a motion that we allow for the application of the emergency management performance critical infrastructure grant. The generator in town hall. Motion and seconded. Patty.
Roland.
Yeah.
Louis. I'm favor.
Yeah.
And David. Matt.
In favor.
Ruth.
In favor.
Totally unanimous. Yeah.
Totally unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. 2244, consideration any appropriate action on various reappointments to boards and committees. Under this, we have the following as all reappointments. Andrew Sturgeon to Topsham Development Inc., Mark Ponziani to Topsham Sewer, Chris Leclerc to Topsham Sewer, Stuart K. III to Brunswick Topsham Water District, Gail Eaton, Finance Committee, Gary Smart, Historic District Commission, Daniel Breed, Topsham Housing Authority, David Marcello, Board of Appeals, Steve Pelletier, TDI. I spoke with Chris Leclerc today, and I think he walked in yet. He is willing, so we need to take out of those 2 appointments, one should be a 3-year, one should be a 1-year. That way we have all of it. Each of the individuals, every year, one comes up. So you don't lose that knowledge, how anything ever happened. And Chris is interested, he said he's willing to do the 1 year, didn't offend him in any way. So, any questions? Make a motion to reappoint all of those individuals to their respective boards and commissions, and with the acknowledgement of Chris Leclerc as a 1-year term. And then he has to do it all over again next year.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in, nope.
Roland.
In favor.
Louis. In favor. David. In favor. Matt.
In favor.
Ruth.
In favor.
Unanimous.
2245, consideration and appropriate action on annual appointments. Tom Lister, Codes, Kate Birch, Alternative Zoning Officer, Chris McLaughlin, Interim. EMD Director, Civil Emergency, Chris McLaughlin, Fire Warden, Health Officer, Dennis Cox, Road Commissioner, Linda Dumont, Registrar of Voters, Brian Batchelder, Weights and Measures, Ralph Williams, Town Historian. Questions, comments?
I don't think he wants to be an interim.
No, that was last year with my last.
Oh, okay. So are you gonna do it all step? So take the interim, if whatever one I said. They'll do EMD, Civil Emergency, Fire Warden, Health Officer. No questions or comments. So make a motion to annually appoint those individuals for this year. Second? Motion seconded. Patty.
Okay, Roland.
In favor.
Marie. In favor. David.
In favor.
Matt.
In favor.
Ruth Lyons.
In favor.
Unanimous again.
Matt, take us home.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor? Oh, shoot.
Almost at
Roland,
in favor.
Marie,
favor.
David,
In favor.
Matt,
In favor.
Ruth, can we go?
Let me think. Yes, in favor.
That's it. Go Celtics.